I recently encountered a situation which I found to be absolutely infuriating with my email account. It's been about 6 months since I set up a computer because I was in the process of moving and all this stuff, and I just wasn't playing with computers that much. And I recently had a hard drive fail on one of my units, so I replaced the drive and I was putting the software back on the machine, and I installed Microsoft Office. I was configuring Outlook, and I went to add my Yahoo email account. Several years ago, it stopped adding normally, and I had to use an app's password, as they call it, to configure the account, which was a nuisance, but fine. It worked. It was only a one-time deal. You could open a program and run it afterwards, and it was normal. So annoying, but fine. No problem with that. That worked for years. And then all of a sudden, didn't work. I kept getting this stupid error message. It would say, "Sorry, this feature's not available right now." And I said, okay, well maybe there's a temporary error. Went back later that night, same message. Went back the next day, same message. Went back a week later, same message. So I got agitated. I said, okay, I'm gonna have to search around here and see what's going on. And of course, to no surprise, I get tons of results. I get forums. This one is from October 27, 2022, which was just a few weeks ago, describing the same problem. 36 people agree with it. And then another one here talking about the same thing. This one is from started 5 months ago. This site is kind of confusing to me. I don't really understand exactly how you're supposed to read it, but we have Yahoo Customer Care, which is such a gigantic irony because they don't care about their customers with a single iota of concern. And they say, "Hi there, sorry about this." Yeah, right. And they just regurgitate this garbage comment over and over again, which is baloney because they just copy and paste it like month after month. They're posting it. I'm having a hard time reading this. It's confusing to me, but I figured it out briefly before. I saw them post that over the course of several months, up until like, here we go, this is 1 month ago, and they're saying the same thing. They don't have an ET on this feature. Well, that's baloney because this is like a pretty significant functionality. This is a security functionality that allows people to access their account using the programs on the computer. Now, I happen to like Outlook. I've been using Outlook for a decade, many years. I prefer it substantially to the website because the website that they're talking about, the web browser, is awful. I got a screenshot over here that I just took, and the problem I have with it is that it's cluttered with ads. It is CPU intensive. It'll peg the CPU to 100% while it loads, and then the second you click on anything else, so that's a problem. And then it's kind of slow because it's using so much CPU, and then it's covered with ads. You got propaganda ads on the right, which are motion. It's a video, so it's very distracting. And then perhaps worst of all, you have these ads that lay within the emails that look just like an email message, and they put these every like 10 messages. So they're very invasive, they're very tricky, it's obnoxious. I don't want to go on there and look at all these ads, and I will not run an ad blocker on my unit. That is a major ethical inconsistency in my opinion. So I don't run an ad blocker on my unit. If you have a site with trash ads like this, I just don't visit it. You lose my business. Too bad. That's what happens. So I don't go on this site ever, other than to create the stinking app's password. That's the only thing I do on here. And they're forcing us to use this, probably because they just want to run ads and show the ads and make more money. A curiosity arose because AOL, which is the same thing. I mean, you can look at the interface. It's the same thing. It's owned by, they're both were bought up by Verizon. They're owned by the same company. It's the same software. It's the same system. It's the same program. It's the same website. They are identical. AOL works fine. It lets me generate my app's password, no problem. So it's not that it doesn't work or it can't be done. They've simply taken the feature away because they want you to force you to use their stupid website that's cluttered in ads, and they won't admit it. It really bothers me because these companies, Verizon and other ones, all these major technology companies, it's gotten to the point where they have absolutely zero care for long-time loyal customers. I made this account. This is my first email account that I had. Prior to it, I had one account. It was what was called a KOL account, which was not AOL. KOL for Kids Online, which was it was like a limited access account that operated. It was my own address, but it had very limited features. It was hidden behind my mother's AOL account, and I had that for a while, and then in the very late 2000s, maybe like 2010 at latest, I created this Yahoo account, and I chose the Yahoo because at the time they were offering, they probably still do, I don't even know, but they were offering a terabyte of email storage, which is outrageous. I mean, you even go back 10, 15 years ago, that is outrageous to have a terabyte of email storage. That's millions and millions and millions of emails. Insane. And so that's why I went with them, because they had the biggest storage. It was fine at first, and then I would say somewhere like mid 2010s, I contemplated switching to a different service because there would be reliability issues. Like every couple of months, we would go through a period of a couple of days where I couldn't get into the account, and that was a big deal to me because I am an avid email user. I send thousands upon thousands of emails a year. I'm on the email all the time, and so for the email to not work for a couple of days was a major interruption to me. So I contemplated switching away from it, and then that kind of seemed to go away, and it started to work fine again after that. For that went on for maybe a year, and then it was fine for the last couple of years up until this point in time where it did this. And the problem here is that they're going to get away with this crap. They're going to get away with it because people do not respond to the situation correctly. And what I mean by that is if a company that delivers a service doesn't deliver it the way that you want it to be done, or that you think it should be done, or that's reasonable, you should stop using that service. And probably no one's going to, because it's such a hassle to change an email address, and everybody's always on those stupid phones that they don't even care that it doesn't work on Outlook anymore. It's probably like a 3% or less user base that would actually use the app's password and use Outlook or whatever, and so they just don't care because most people are not affected by it. Why it's so bad for them that the small quantity of users can't operate on the Outlook, I don't know, because AOL does it with no problem, and it's the same thing owned by the same company, but for some reason the Yahoo branded one, no good. I don't get it. Now the workaround, I guess, would be you could use a different email program. You could use Thunderbird, a newer version of Thunderbird, the Mozilla Thunderbird, and that works with whatever sign-on page that Yahoo wants to use now, and That's fine. You don't even need the app's password. It works the way the old one used to work. But I want to use Outlook. Now I can't. Very, very frustrating, because in Outlook I have my calendar and I have my email addresses. So I can use Thunderbird to read the email, that's fine, but now I got to do something with my calendar and my phone numbers too. I have my phone numbers in Outlook. So I have 3 items now in Outlook: my calendar, the email addresses, and the telephone numbers, which I have to do something else with. Or I could leave them in there, because I can still get my Gmail in there, and I can still get my my AOL email in there, and I can still get everything else in there. It's only the stupid Yahoo email that I can't get in there. You know, Gmail, I wish I'd used Gmail, because Gmail has actually been very good with backwards compatibility. To this day, they are the only email account I have that will still work in Outlook 2003 under Windows XP. And they have a little thing in there in the settings that says allow access to obsolete apps or something like that. And then they recently came out and said, we're going to take this feature away in X date. And it was like fiery, like a couple years into the future they put that out there. So I mean, I still don't like that it's going away, but at least they were straightforward about it and told you and gave you a warning. And now this stupid Yahoo thing is hiding it, and they're trying to go, oh, we don't know when it's going to be fixed. That's baloney. You know it's not going to be fixed because you don't care. Stupid. I don't know what to do with them. And then you get the AOL email. You know, there's other ways you could fix this. If they really don't like people using the Outlook, then put a paywall on it at least. I actually still have AOL Desktop. I pay for it. It's like $5 a month. It's negligible, but I have that, and I still pay for it because I like to use that program. You know, and like I could do dial-up on there. I don't know what practical application it still has, but you know, I've been using that program for probably 20 years. I mean, my first experiences on the computer were within that program, and it's still around. Why, you know, why can't you just leave the app's passwords alone? Why? I can't stand this nonsense.